Hello everyone, I'm Luna Celestine, and today I invite you to step into a moment where the universe is quietly, yet unmistakably, sending us a message. This is not just any lunar phase. This is a powerful gateway of energy opened by the blood moon of 2025 in alignment with a total lunar eclipse, not only in the sky, but within your very heart. And if you're a Leo, especially if you're over 40, you will feel this shift more deeply than anyone else. Not because you're weaker with age, but because you've walked far enough to know who you are. And now is the time to return, not to the limitations of the past, but to the brilliance of your true light. This event is more than an astrological phenomenon. It's a reminder from the cosmos. The fire within you never died. It's simply been waiting for the right moment to rise again. And that moment is now. In just a moment, we'll dive deeper into this journey to understand why the energy of this lunar cycle touches Leo so intensely, and how you can step into this phase of awakening and transformation in the most meaningful way. The fire within you, your strength, passion, leadership, and ability to inspire, is being reignited with clarity and power. It's not something new being born, but rather the reawakening of what has always lived within you. Perhaps in recent years, you've let it lie dormant or traded it for responsibilities, roles, or expectations that felt necessary as an adult. If you felt yourself becoming dimmer, slowing down, or unable to express your full potential, this is your moment to return to the center of your own life. You don't need to be loud, you don't need to prove yourself, but you do need to reclaim your presence. You no longer have to wait for someone to grant you the stage. You only need to rise and step into your natural essence, a guide, an inspiration, a soul born to make a meaningful impact. Opportunities may not come in predictable forms. They might appear as a surprising invitation, an idea you once dismissed, or a twist in your career path that you previously weren't ready to embrace. But this time, it will feel different. Your intuition will be sharper, your self-trust clearer, and the inner calling stronger than ever, leaving no room for hesitation. Don't delay, because if you let this chance pass, if you continue to doubt or overanalyze, a sense of loss will come quickly and deeply. The universe is sending signals your way, and you know in your soul you are ready. This isn't the time to stay on the sidelines. It's time to step out and reclaim your rightful role, not for anyone else, but because it's time to live in full alignment with your true self. If your current work feels empty, draining, or no longer reflects who you are, it may be that the universe is beginning to shift everything around you to guide you toward a new path. Not because you've failed, but because you've grown. You've evolved, you've deepened, and you simply cannot continue down a road that no longer fits. Take an honest look at yourself. Is there something that once excited you, something that used to make you wake up each morning with a true zest for life, but has since been set aside due to pressure, obligations, or circumstance? Is there a dream you once thought was out of reach, but now feels closer, more tangible, simply because you've gained enough life experience to pursue it with grounded confidence? This is the perfect time to return to what truly holds meaning for you. It might be an old passion you once left behind. It might be a field you never dared to explore. Or perhaps it's simply a different way of working, one where you have autonomy, creativity, and the freedom to live in alignment with your values. And no, you are not late. No one is late when they are walking the path meant for them. Don't let the idea of being too old to start keep you confined in outdated comfort zones. You are not declining, you are entering the most radiant phase of your maturity, and the light within you, if rekindled from the right place, can illuminate not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. So, be honest with yourself. If you could start again, what would you choose? That question is no longer hypothetical. It is what you need to reflect on right now. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into how the energy of the blood moon is influencing your emotions, your intuition, and your inner connection. So you're not just realigning your external world, but also truly understanding what's guiding you from within. Stay with this journey. You may have once believed that major changes in life only come from external events, a new job, a new relationship, a surprising opportunity. But what's unfolding at this moment reveals the opposite. The deepest transformation always begins within, and this lunar eclipse is reaching directly into the deepest parts of you. The places where untapped potential has been waiting quietly, where dormant qualities have been lying in stillness for years. The energy now is not merely a fleeting emotion or a temporary impulse. It is an awakening, a reminder that within you lie ancient codes of resilience, intuition, and the power to attract what is good and true. And now, they are beginning to activate. If you are over 40, perhaps you've come to feel something very clearly. True success is not about how much you accumulate, but about who you become in the process of living. And perhaps there have been moments when you forgot that you don't have to keep chasing something just to prove your worth, because everything you've ever been looking for, prosperity, peace, a sense of wholeness, has always been within you. What matters now is not that you become better by some external standard, but that you begin to shed each layer, the old beliefs, the outdated limits, the inner walls you once thought you couldn't surpass. That is the true activation. And that's why you are being called, not to become someone else, but to return to yourself in your most authentic and powerful form. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, is there something inside you that has always been waiting to come alive, but you've never given it the chance? Is there a part of you you've held back because you thought it was too late or not enough? The answer might be arriving now. And to understand more deeply how this energy is impacting not only you, but your relationships with others, stay with me. In the next part, we'll look more closely at how connections, especially long-term relationships, are shifting under the light of this moon. This is a time when truth can no longer hide, and you need to know what is truly meant to stay in your life. Sometimes you feel something is changing beneath the surface of life, a quiet but undeniable movement, as if you no longer belong to the old, but haven't fully stepped into something new. If you've felt this recently, it's not a coincidence. This blood moon marks a very special moment, a moment when two realities are overlapping, where old limitations are dissolving, and a new level of awareness is opening before you. The world around you may appear the same, but the way you perceive it is no longer the same. You may begin to clearly see what you once overlooked. Relationships you tried to hold on to now reveal what is genuine and what is draining. Jobs, roles, or habits you once accepted as part of life now feel heavy and restrictive, not because they have changed, but because you have. You are being pushed out of your familiar reality and into a deeper level of consciousness, a place where you no longer live according to others' expectations, but from a true connection with your values and purpose. At this energetic level, things are no longer just about right or wrong, success or failure, but about alignment, truth, and awakening. I'm not saying this journey is easy, because it requires you to let go, to release what once served as your foundation, even if it no longer nourishes you. But you have a choice. And you also have the ability to recognize what is meant to stay and what must be closed. If you feel like you're standing between two worlds, one of old habits and one of a deep inner calling, then it's a clear sign you're entering a period of transformation. And the most important part right now isn't how fast you move forward, but how consciously you walk your path. Up next, we'll move into a very practical part, the signs within your relationships that will reveal more clearly where you are on this journey, and you'll need to listen carefully because certain truths are about to surface, not to hurt you, but to free you. Let's continue. There are times when we can no longer pretend everything is fine in a relationship. Perhaps you felt it quietly for a while, a nameless exhaustion, a growing distance, or simply a sense that you're no longer yourself when you're with that person. And this moon will no longer allow you to ignore those signals. Under the influence of the lunar eclipse and blood moon, the truth in relationships will come to light, not to cause pain, but to bring you back to the honesty that every connection requires. You may come to see that certain relationships have reached their natural end, not because anyone is to blame, but because the shared path no longer exists. Or you may clearly see who is truly with you out of presence and connection, and who remains only out of habit or attachment. This is a time to listen to your real emotions, not what you should feel, but what you truly feel when you are with that person. Is there upliftment? Is there peace in your soul? Or is it heaviness, tension, and quiet resignation? And if you are in a relationship with deep meaning, a true soul connection, a partner who genuinely understands you, then this moon will deepen that bond more than ever. Conversations will become more honest, feelings more transparent, and the connection will be renewed through full presence from both sides. You don't have to do everything alone, but you do need the courage to choose again. Who truly deserves to walk this next stretch of the journey with you, and who has already fulfilled their role in your life? Letting go is not failure. It is an act of maturity, a step to make space for healthier, more nourishing relationships. I know that sometimes speaking your truth is the hardest thing to do, but if you don't, you will carry that silence like a weight in your spirit. And you deserve to live in a space where every connection is honest, supportive, and fuels your growth. This is the moment when you must make a clear choice, not for others, but for yourself. The blood moon is not a random event. It is a message from the universe that a door is opening, a door that doesn't always appear in life. And if you just stand there watching, if you keep waiting for a more perfect moment, you may miss one of the most profound opportunities for transformation life has to offer. What's important to understand is that no one can walk through that door for you. No one can intend for you, live for you, or act in your place. This is a deeply personal journey, and the only thing required of you right now is not perfection, but readiness. You don't need to know every step ahead. You just need to be honest with yourself. What within you has wanted to change for a long time, but has been postponed? What have you clearly felt, but never dared to name? Is there a dream you've tucked away, simply because you feared it was too late? The truth is, you're not too late. You just need to begin, even with one small step. And more than anything, you need clarity about what you're moving toward. Because at this time, the universe isn't only listening to what you say with words, it's responding to how you live, how you feel, and how you choose. Ask yourself, what is it that you truly want to see manifest in your life? Not what you think you should want, but what you deeply long for, what makes you feel alive, purposeful, and aligned. Write it down. It doesn't have to be beautiful or perfect. It just needs to be honest. When you set a clear intention, you establish a specific direction. You stop moving by reflex or circumstance and start walking your own path with purpose. That is the difference between drifting through life and living with intention. But I also want you to know that action doesn't always have to be something grand. Sometimes, action is saying no to something that no longer fits. It's stepping away from a job that no longer inspires you. It's speaking a truth you've held in your heart for too long. It's opening yourself to something new, even if the outcome is uncertain. The longer you wait, the more space you give doubt to replace intuition. The more you delay, the more the inner calling gets drowned out by external noise. But if you begin, if you dare to take even one small step, you'll find the universe waiting on the other side of that readiness. And if you're still wondering whether this moment is truly meant for you, that very doubt is already a sign. Because if something inside you is shifting, if these words are stirring something within you, then you've already received the invitation. The only question now is whether you'll answer it. Now, I want you to give yourself a quiet space, not to think more, but to listen. Listen to what within you is asking to be heard. Listen to what you truly need, and from that space, begin your journey, not for anyone else, but because you know it's time. The final message I want to share with you, especially if you're a Leo over the age of 40, is not just encouragement, but affirmation. Because maybe you've been asking yourself, is this still the right time for me to begin again? Is the fire within me still strong enough to light the way forward? And the answer is yes. You are not just living, you are awakening. But not just waking up to return to an old routine. This is a deeper, clearer, more rooted awakening. A part of you has already begun to shift, and it will no longer let you continue living just to fulfill roles or meet expectations. This is the time to live with clearer purpose, deeper honesty, and greater alignment. The blood moon is not just an event in the sky. It is a symbol of the reignition of your inner power, a light that perhaps you've hidden, dimmed, or traded away for things that once felt necessary, but now the universe is sending you a clear signal. It's time to return to your center, not to live as you once did, but to live as the deeper, fuller, freer version of yourself, a version shaped by experience, one that understands the value of stillness and knows that what truly matters is not the shine on the outside, but the sense of authenticity within. You've come far enough to know not everything is meant to be held onto, and you've matured enough to understand that what you need now is no longer external validation, but inner recognition. So if you're feeling something shifting, trust it. If a voice within you is growing louder, listen to it. Because this blood moon is not simply passing by, it leaves a mark. And if you walk with it, you won't just change your direction, you'll change the way you exist, in a truer, more meaningful and deeply conscious way. This is your time to return, not to start over, but to begin living as your most authentic self. And if you're still here listening to these words, I believe a part of you is already ready. You may not know where to start or what to change first, but the truth is, you don't need to know everything right now. You just need to begin with honesty toward yourself. I'm not here to tell you how to live. I'm here to remind you that you have the right to choose again, at any age, at any stage of life. And if today, under the light of the blood moon and the shifting rhythm of the universe, you feel something inside you calling for change, trust that it has meaning. I'm on this journey too, just like you. There are still questions I haven't answered. There are things I'm learning to release and ways I'm learning to begin again, not to be perfect, but to be more true. And if we're here together, I believe we are not alone. Keep moving forward, even just one small step at a time. Let yourself be the one who writes the next chapter, not for anyone else, but because you deserve to live fully in your true light. Thank you for being present with me in this video. If something in this message resonated with you, don't hesitate to share your reflections below. I read every word and deeply value each genuine connection. See you in the next video. We'll continue this journey, gently, honestly, and with deep awareness. Wishing you peace.